Welcome to Suman TV Education. Today, I will be teaching you a topic, frustum of cone. I will derive the formulas for volume of the frustum and surface area of the frustum. Surface area in the sense, total surface area as well as the curved surface area. So, this is Sunil Chauhan. I will be taking you through frustum of cone. Now, you might have already learned about cylinder, cone in your previous classes. So, let's look at the structure of a cone first. So, this is a cone. If you divide this cone horizontally into two parts, be it equal parts or unequal parts, it doesn't matter. So, suppose if I divide this cone into equal parts or unequal parts, the lower part of this cone is called as frustum. So, this part is called as frustum. Now, if I draw it separately, how would I get it? If I draw this part of the cone separately, I will be getting a shape which is in this way. So, this is called as frustum of the cone. Now, where have you seen these kind of shapes in your real life? Exactly. So, the buckets that you use at your home, but they are of inverted shapes. So, this is a bucket. Which is the inverted shape of the frustum. So, you call both the shapes as frustum only. So, if you extend this line, this is called as, if you extend the slant heights of this frustum, you will be forming a proper cone, right? Cylindrical cone. So, now how do we derive the formulas for volume of the frustum, CSA of the frustum and TSA of the frustum? You already know what is CSA and TSA, curved surface area and total surface area. So, what will they give in the examination? They will give you, so let's look at this diagram. It has two bases. One is the top base, which suppose say small r is the radius of this base, and the radius of the bigger base or the bottom base, suppose say capital R. And suppose say the slant height of this cone is small l. And the height of this frustum is suppose say small h. Now, how do we derive the formula for total volume of the frustum in terms of h, capital R, small l and small r? We are going to derive the formula for volume and CSA of the frustum. So, we have a proper cone where the base radius is capital R and you have a frustum inside this cone. The top base radius is smaller, the bottom radius is capital R. The height of the frustum is small h. The total slant height of the cone is capital L. The slant height of the frustum is small l. So, what are we given in the question? We will be given only small r, capital R, small l and the height of the frustum is small h. So, we want only these four terms in the formula of volume of the frustum, CSA of the frustum and TSA of the frustum. But we don't want capital L and capital H. Fine. Because they are the part of the bigger cone. They won't be given to you in the question. So, only the parameters that are related to the frustum will be given. Small r will be given, capital R will be given, small l, which is the slant height of the frustum, will be given, and the height of the frustum will be given, which is small h. So, we want to derive the formula for this frustum. Now, how do we derive the volume? So, let's try to derive the volume first. Volume of frustum. Now, when I say volume of this frustum, you know already what is the volume of the total cone. Now, if I have to find only the volume of this frustum, what will I do? I will subtract the total volume of this bigger cone minus the volume of the smaller cone. The smaller cone is at the top, the bigger cone is the whole cone. So, is equals to, what will you say? Now, let's try to write the parameters of the smaller cone as well. So, smaller cone, slant height will be how much? If the total slant height is capital L and the slant height of the frustum is small l, the slant height of the smaller cone will be capital L minus small l, capital L minus small l. Okay, and what will be the height of the smaller cone? The total height of the cone is capital H. The height of the frustum is small h. So the height of the smaller cone will be capital H minus small h. So capital H minus small h. Now we got all the necessary parameters, but we will try to eliminate capital H and capital L because that will not be given in the question. So volume of the frustum will be nothing but volume of the bigger cone, volume of bigger cone minus volume of the smaller cone, volume of the smaller cone. Now what is the volume of the bigger cone? 1 by 3 pi r square h. R square h, where r is the radius of this base, which is capital R square. And what is the height of the bigger cone? It is capital H minus volume of the smaller cone. This is important now. So minus 1 by 3 pi into radius or radius of the base. The base radius is small r. So small r square into what is the height of the smaller cone? Height is capital H minus small h. So I'll write it as capital H minus small h. Now we will try to simplify these terms. So 1 by 3 pi can be taken common. So I'll take 1 by 3 pi common. 1 by 3 pi, I'll be taking it common. And I'll have capital R square h. Please make note of the capital H and small h wherever it is possible. So capital R square h minus, I have already taken 1 by 3 pi common. And I'll be left with r square capital H. R square capital H minus into minus will be plus. So it will be r square small h. R square and small h. So this is the volume of the frustum. But we don't need what? Capital H in the values. So I'll be taking capital H common. So what will I get? 1 by 3 pi into, if I take capital H common, I'll be getting capital H into capital R square minus small r square. Capital R square minus small r square, and I already have plus small r square h, plus r square small h. Now how do we eliminate the value of capital H? So if you look at this cone, you have two similar triangles. So one is the smaller cone and the other one is the whole bigger cone. Now for the smaller cone, we have the base as small r, the hypotenuse as capital L minus small l, and the third side will be capital H minus small h. For the bigger cone, what all do we have? We have capital H as the height, the base as capital R, and the hypotenuse as capital L. Now these two triangles are similar triangles because this is a common angle. So this will be common angle, this will be common angle. This is 90 degrees, this will also be 90 degrees. So according to angle similarity, we can see that these two triangles are similar to each other. So when do we say these two triangles are similar? If all the sides are in proportion, or we can say that if all the sides are in proportion, these two triangles are similar, or if two triangles are similar, all the sides are in proportion. So we will take the corresponding sides. Capital H minus small h divided by capital H will be equals to small r divided by capital R, which will be equals to capital L minus small l divided by capital L. Now this is the condition that we got according to the similarity of the triangles. So we want capital H in terms of the known values. So if you take these two relation, so capital H minus small h by capital H equals to small r by capital R. We don't require capital L because we don't have capital L anywhere. So according to this equation, we'll try to find the value of capital H. So if you take the inverse of this, what do we get? Or if you separate it, capital H by capital H minus small h by capital H is equals to small r by capital R. Now capital H can be cancelled, so I can write it as 1 minus h by capital H is equals to small r by capital R. Okay, so I can further write it as 1 minus small r by capital R is equals to h by capital H. So what will I get? Small h by capital H is equals to capital R minus small r divided by capital R. But we want the value of capital H. So what is capital H now? If I take the reciprocal of this, capital R divided by capital R minus small r into small h. So this is what I get, which is a important condition to substitute in this equation. So suppose that this equation is 1 and this equation is suppose say 2. So from 1 and 2, after substituting the value of capital H, we get 1 by 3 pi. I'll substitute the value of capital H as capital R divided by capital R minus small r into small h. And I already have capital R square minus small r square, which can be written as, this is in the form of a square minus b square. So I'll write it as capital R minus small r into capital R plus small r. And I already have plus r square h. Now I can cancel out capital R minus small r and capital R minus small r. So finally I'll be getting the volume of the frustum as 1 by 3 pi and capital R into small h, capital R into small h into capital R plus small r plus small r square h. If you further simplify this, what do we get? 1 by 3 pi capital R h into capital R will be capital R square small h plus R h and small r. So capital R small r and small h plus r square h. Now can we take the small h common or the factor out small h throughout the brackets? So I'll be finally getting 1 by 3 pi small h into capital R square plus small r square plus capital R into small r. This is the final formula for the volume of the frustum. Now capital R is known to us, small r is known to us, small h is known to us, small l is known to us. But the volume of the frustum is always independent of the slant height of the frustum. So this is the derivation for the volume of the frustum. So we will look at the curved surface area of a frustum derivation in our next class.